Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, Rotor.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. All right, I have posted the latest Jenny Moonstone discussion on the private road. Go check that out. The road ahead, we're looking at 2023. The silver world is changing, so hang on. She had some interesting thoughts on silver next year, and with my interpretation, we might come up with the right discussion of how this is going to all play out. It's interesting. Anyway, go check it out if you're on the private road. If you're not yet, go to road2ruta.com, join, and we will send you one silver Ruta Lives coin. The coolest coin ever made, ever. And you can get access to everything, which is really cool. Go check it out. All right. Silver is doing nothing at the moment. Again, I don't care about price. I care if the COMEX is shutting down. That's the most important thing. If the COMEX is alive and well, and you've got Virtu Financial as the high-frequency trading coordinator and JP Morgan coordinating silver deliveries, it's kind of hard to do anything. And they are all colluding with each other to break the law. That's why the U.S. government charged them with RICO charges, which means racketeering charges, means conspiracy to commit a crime. If anybody doesn't know this by now, I mean, the JP Morgan fine for rigging the gold and silver and bond market, or the U.S. dollar, the FX markets, was $920 million. It was a conspiracy. They didn't plead guilty to RICO charges, though. But every entity that did it with them, and we have all the emails, pleaded guilty as well. So how could the government not get a RICO charge unless a deal was struck? Of course a deal was struck. But how was JP Morgan going to continue rigging the market if they weren't allowed in their house account to do that? They do it through customer accounts. It's back to Enron. You can set up shell companies. You can set up real companies and say, okay, here's your book, JP or Bank of America, Bank of Montreal, Citibank. We're going to run it through JP Morgan is going to control the physical market, and Virtu Financial is going to run all the high-frequency trades, so we're all set. And we'll all collude and exchange information back and forth, and the CFTC has guaranteed us that they won't cause any trouble. That's what's going on. And you can see it. As we got to the end of the month, I was all excited because there was 50 contracts left, which is not much, like 250,000 ounces of silver due. This is due for delivery, and today's the last day for delivery. I wasn't all that excited. I'm like, who the hell would hold all their silver to the last day? And then I find out, who delivered. So I'm looking for who delivered the 50 contracts. Wait a minute. JP Morgan on the last day of deliveries had to deliver 668 contracts. 668 contracts. And so this is the JP Morgan customer account, which means another customer of theirs took 415 million contracts. But what the hell happened there, right? So we should see 668 and 415 on the JP Morgan numbers, but we don't. So the JP Morgan overall for the year, or for the month, look at this, JP Morgan customer account. Right here. Look at that. They only have deliveries of 102 ounces. Where's the 668 ounces? The amount of obfuscation, which means hiding shit, is astounding. Because this is supposed to be the cumulative of the month. We see it done here. It's recorded here, but it's not recorded here. This just should be automatic when it goes here onto here. But it didn't, because they're still hiding shit. This is run by the CME. The CME is a criminal organization that owns the COMEX and other exchanges. They facilitate the rigging of the markets in the United States of America. They're what they call a SRO, a self-regulating organization, or an SRE, self-regulating entity, or I think it's O. They are their first round of, they're supposed to police their own people, We don't even need a CFTC theoretically if Patrick Duffy or Jeffrey Duffy or the Duffy guy, whatever I forgot his. I always get Patrick Duffy mixed up with him. The CEO of this con game called the CME. If he did his job, we wouldn't need to bring the DOJ in. We wouldn't need to bring the CFTC in. But he doesn't. They just run cover for the rig job. In what world can JP Morgan be busted for the biggest crime in commodity history, fined the biggest fine in commodity history, $920 million, and be allowed, and obviously they took him out of their house trading, but be allowed to control any inventory at all? And they own vast amounts, they control vast amounts of silver. Why? Because they're all rehypothecated. Each ounce of silver has 3 or 4 different owners and a different thing. One's pledged to, the same bar can be pledged to the COMEX inventories, the LBMA inventories, and the SLV and any other ETF. It's sick and pathetic, but it's the world we live in. Welcome to America. This is what needs to end. Stuff like this is bullshit. JP Morgan delivers 668 silver contracts, which is no tiny amount of money. That's 3.3 million ounces of silver in one day. And they don't show it in the total aggregate right here. JP Morgan, house account, customer account, 102 contracts. And I know some people say, oh, it's just a timing error. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it's a timing error come Monday or Tuesday, whenever the market's open again. But it's all a con. You guys must know that by now. And speaking of cons, FTX founder reportedly cashes out of $684,000 worth of crypto after being released from jail. This guy's got cryptos hidden all over the place. If you want to find out what's going on with the FTX and all that, go right to the heart of the crypto cabal, Tether, and the people who started it and the people who continue to run it. It is a con game of the ultimate magnitude and always has been. I've been screaming about it for probably 8-9 years. From the very early days. And I got a letter from one of the guy's attorneys saying, cease and desist. And he has more money than I do, so I said, okay. But I did get the ability to still talk about the cabal, the crypto cabal. Digital Currency Group is a main part of that cabal. But the heart of it lies at who controls Tether and the fake money that floats around that they call real money. Sam Bankman-Fried, dude, this guy is doing anything he wants. He didn't pay anything in bail. No, he didn't pay $250 million in bail. No, his parents put up a $4 million house and he got out on their promise. Are you kidding me? So pathetic. He's going to walk free. It's like Ken Lay did. Ken Lay of Enron went to jail and then he died instantly. It's like Epstein did. Went to jail, died instantly. Oh, we cremated the body, so we can't have an autopsy or anything like that. I used to call it going to Ken Lay's Island. Sam Bankman-Fried will go to Ken Lay's Island. I'm sure it's much like Jeffrey Epstein's island. Maybe they're buddies. They're probably, I'm sure they knew. I bet you Sam Bankman-Fried has been to the Pedo Island and all that. Absolutely. And speaking of the islands, the Bahamas, it turns out they tell us a month later that they seized $3.5 billion of FTX assets. You guys on the private road probably saw Jenny talking about this when we were talking about what's going to happen. She's like, I think everybody's going to get their money back. At least the people who held their tokens in the exchange. I'm like, well, how can that be? There's all that money's gone supposedly. And she's like, nope, they're going to get their money back. Even they'll find it again, or big money will pitch in so that the true scandal won't be revealed. And here it is. Bahamas seized $3.5 billion of FTX assets. I mean, why wasn't that known on day one by the bankruptcy trustee? Is this really is this really real? Could some of the crypto cabal say, hey, we got trillions in assets. Let's just, to cover this up, let's give everybody their money back. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I can guarantee you one thing. The Justice Department is in on the game. The SEC's in on the game. The CFTC's in on the game. All the judges in this case are going to be in on the game. All the lawyers in this case on both sides are going to be in on the game. Everybody's in on the game. And it has to be that way for our system, the American economic system, to function. It's sad and depressing. Very depressing. Anyway, it should be a good year for silver next year. I think we're going to see a lot of action in January. And then I don't know when the banking crash, the meltdown of the derivatives is going to happen. A lot of people saying beginning of next year is going to, when the shit hits the fan next week. With our government, and with the government, so goes the pedophiles, so goes the control system. So we will see. Buckle your seatbelts. You paid. This is an e-ticket ride that you chose when you came down to planet Earth, and you are getting your money's worth right now. If you want to join the Road to Ruta and see the latest Jenny Moonstone discussion, where we talk about silver next year. Also, we talk a lot about Theta and what's going down with Theta and how this will all work out, and Reggie Middleton. So go check it out at the private road at roadtoruta.com. If you want to join, hit subscribe today or renew. And for right now, at least till the end of the year, we're giving away the Ruta Lives coins. When silver hits 30, there's no stopping it. We're going to stop giving away the Ruta Lives coin for every subscription. So go check that out at roadtoruta.com. I'll talk to you later.